Okay, everybody, welcome back. It's time to create a step-by-step trading plan. This is going to be your plan, your personal system for trading. Now, I don't want to hear any excuses. I've heard every excuse you can imagine. I don't know how to write a trading plan. I'm too busy to write a trading plan. It won't matter. It's boring. I have it all up here in my head, etc., etc., etc. I've heard every excuse you can imagine, but I want you to understand something. I worked as a professional trader on Wall Street, and we had to do this. And I was a relative newbie at the time. Hey, I thought I knew a few things, but man, I had a lot to learn. And I didn't want to do this, and none of the other newbies wanted to do it. But the more experienced, more successful traders always did this. They understood how important it is to have a trading plan. And we're going to take it a step further. I'm going to have you establishing your business. Now, the first thing I want you to do is create a cover sheet. This is the first thing you're going to see when you look at your business. Keep it professional and simple. This is really a physical representation of your business. And also, I want you to name your business. Again, we're taking an idea that's in your head and we're making it real. So if you name the business, and I want you to do this even if you're not planning to incorporate, I want you to do this. This is going to change your psychology in your approach to your own business. And if you want to take it to the next level, create a logo for your business. It's easy. You can do it yourself. Now, what about your trading style, right? We may want to use several different trading styles. For example, a lot of people use short-term trading to generate income, and they focus on longer-term swing trading and position trading to build wealth. You might even want to consider having two separate accounts with a clear understanding of the objective of each account. One for short-term trades, one for longer term. So you might say in your step-by-step personal trading plan, I have X dollars for my business. I'm going to allocate these resources in the following manner. This much for trading style A for my short-term account, and this much for trading style B for my longer-term account. Now, in account A, I want you to be specific. What am I doing? I'm trading short-term for income. Why have you chosen that style? It could be for living expenses, to pay off debts, to quit your job, whatever it is. Whatever it is that moves the needle for you, that's what you put in. And for account B, I want you to do the same thing. This is my long-term swing trading or position trading account. I've chosen this style because, and I want you to write down why you've chosen that style. Don't write down, I wrote it because Ed said so, okay? Write down why you want to do this. Is it because, do you want to pay your kids' college tuition? Is it for retirement? Is it for vacations, etc.? Maybe you just want to have $1 million in the bank. I don't know. Whatever gets you excited, that's what you put there. That's what's going to keep you inspired. Now, next thing we talk about is the personality profile. You know, the hardest thing about trading, is it the technical analysis? Is it the fundamental analysis? I would say the hardest thing about trading is your own psychology. See, anybody can understand tactics and strategy, but if you can't execute tactics and strategy, you're going to have a tough time making money as a trader. So I want you to write down, what are your greatest strengths as a trader? What are your greatest weaknesses? Now, you've got to put some thought into this. You know, everyone loves to focus on their strengths, but eliminating your weaknesses is the key. So really, you've got to ask yourself, what's my greatest weakness as a trader? And what is my plan to eliminate that weakness? Now, once you eliminate that weakness, I want you to ask yourself the question again. What's my greatest weakness? What is my plan to eliminate it? If you can always focus on eliminating your greatest weakness, you're going to eliminate your weaknesses eventually. Now, we talk about business goals a little bit. Saying there by Bruce Lee, a goal is not always meant to be reached. It often serves simply as something to aim at, right? So, I want you to set targets and goals to inspire your work. Some people might say, my goal is to make $5,000 per month. Well, that's fine, but how are you going to do it, right? Once you have your goal in mind, I want you to write down how you're going to achieve your goals. What specifically are you going to do? It's one thing to have a goal, but the critical part is laying out the path to how you get there. And if all of this sounds, maybe it sounds silly to some of you, but I want you to know what all of this does, we're taking things that are in our head and we're making them real. We're making our goals real. Okay, we're making everything, the company, real by giving it a name and giving it a logo. We're making it real. Okay, we're bringing it to life. This is very important, right? This is all psychological, but it's also very important. All part of your step-by-step trading plan, your personal system, your personal plan. So what are some potential business goals? Maybe you want to have an annual income of X. You fill in the blank, right? Maybe your goal is simply to beat the market, right? Generally, we consider the S&P 500 the market. So if the S&P 500 is up 10%, you want to at least be up that much, right? Maybe your goal is to stop losing money. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of traders lose money, okay? And if your goal is to stop losing money, listen, there's losing money and there's making money. If you can stop losing money, you're halfway home. Now all you have to worry about is making money. So I will stop losing money is a terrific goal. So you might want to break your goals down, right, into annual, monthly, weekly goals. But the important thing is to map out how are you going to achieve it? What are you actually going to do to make this happen? I'll give you an example. I'm going to subscribe to Barron's and actually read it. Or I'm going to read 10 finance articles every day. I'm going to find a profitable mentor to emulate. I'm going to keep learning. I'm going to take a new course every 6 months. I'm going to take 4 weeks off a year from trading. You know, whatever those goals are, find ways to achieve those goals, right? And also, you know, write down what markets are you going to trade? Are you going to trade stocks? Maybe you're going to trade futures or options or Forex. Maybe you're going to trade some combination of the above. Okay, so you have to have a routine also, right? We've got to think about this too. What are you going to do before the market opens every day? Are you going to look at charts? Which charts are you going to look at? You're going to look at charts after the market closes? All right, what are you going to do while the market's open? All right, you have to think about what sort of routine you're going to set for yourself. Okay, I don't want to tell you what to do. You're going to find the routine that works for you. But you need to write it down and be specific. And also, it's very important to be in the right physical and mental state of mind when you're trading. Listen, it's easy for me to stand in front of you and say, eat right, sleep well, and exercise. And listen, I managed to do some of those things all the time. I never managed to do all those things all the time, okay? But believe me, it does make a difference. You will feel better if at least some of the time, eat right, sleep well, get some exercise, right? How are you going to be present when the market is moving, you know, if you're not in your top frame of mind? And being in a good physical condition can help that. And, you know, listen, there are a lot of things you can do. And also, there are a lot of things to avoid, okay? There are a lot of times when you should not be trading. I'll tell you one, right? One time, you know, I trade currencies and stocks. And one time I took some medicine. I had a bad flu, and I took a lot of medication, and I fell asleep very early. I woke up in the middle of the night, and I thought it would be a great idea to place some currency trades. That was a mistake, okay? Don't do that. If you're sick, if you're heavily medicated, do not trade. Another time when you shouldn't trade, if you're feeling emotional about some event that occurred in your life, something involving your family, your job, etc., if you're upset in any way, shape, or form, you know, about things outside of trading, that can spill over into your trading if you're not careful. You can get angry, you start hitting the button hard and sizing up, and you can really hurt yourself trading. So be very careful about that. Also, if you feel anger due to trading losses, right? Sometimes we have a series of losses and we get upset. And we want to take revenge out on that stock. Revenge trading rarely works out. It usually will work against you. That's where you lose 5 trades in a row on Apple and you say, okay, Apple, I'm going to get you and you're going to make it back all at once. And you know what? Maybe you'll make it back all at once, or maybe you'll dig such a deep hole that you'll never get out of it. So don't revenge trade. Also, let me give you another one. What if you're feeling euphoric due to the fact that you're trading well? You know, I traded in a couple different places in Manhattan for a couple of different companies, and every company that I traded for professionally had a risk management department. So one day, I get the tap on the shoulder. Hey, risk management wants to talk to you. So I go in the back, and I'm thinking, man, what did I do wrong? Why do they want to talk to me? I thought I was doing pretty good. So I go back into the risk management office, and they say, hey, have a seat, Ed. And the gentleman behind the desk says to me, hey, Ed, you're doing great. You just had a really good month. You had a really good, you're doing really well lately. And I was very relieved, you know. Whew. Yeah, you know, I'm doing less of this and I'm doing more of that, and it's really coming together, and, you know, I'm hitting it on all cylinders and I'm feeling great. And the guy says to me, yeah, why don't you go home? You know, take a long weekend, take a few extra days off. And of course I'm thinking, that's the last thing I want to do. I don't want to go home. I want to stay here. I'm killing it. I don't want to go home, right? But they know something that I didn't know at the time. And that's this. When you're really hitting it, that's usually, your greatest successes are very often followed by your biggest failures, right? And why? Because we begin to think we're bulletproof. Right? This sense of euphoria begins to overtake you. You're making all this money. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm making so much money. And we get carried away. And, you know, as people who manage traders understand, and as my risk manager understood, that's the time to put on the brakes. I said, Ed, go lay on the beach for a couple days, take a long weekend, we'll see you back here next week. And you know what? I did, and I calmed down. And it was great because I chilled out, and I stopped being so excited, and it made me think about, you know, gosh, you know, they can see that I'm so excited. It must not be a good thing. And why? Because they understand that your greatest victories are often followed by your greatest defeats, because you begin to think you're invincible, you start breaking the rules. Okay, so if you're killing it and you're beginning to feel too high on yourself, take a break, push yourself away from the desk. Now listen, if you're hungry, get something to eat. If you're tired, close out your positions, go to sleep. Take care of yourself, and that way, when it's time for you to be there, you'll really be there. You'll be present when you trade. Now, when it comes to risk and money management, we need to define our risk on every single trade. Protecting your capital is of prime importance to success in trading. So I want you to be able to answer the following questions. What is your maximum dollar size in a trade? What is your maximum loss per trade? Maximum loss per day, per week, per month? This is all part of your step-by-step personal trading system. Listen, one of the places where I worked, if you hit your max, if you maxed out, you were done. You had to stop trading. Now, they wouldn't let you go home. Oh no, oh no. Let's say that you have a maximum loss per month that you're allowed to hit. Maybe you hit it a week early. You're done. You can't place any more trades that month. Now, not only would they not allow these guys to go home, we'd make them stay and run errands for us. Hey, get me a sandwich. Get me a cup of coffee. Sharpen a pencil. Heck, we'd break pencils just to make this guy sharpen them, right? They make someone walk around with a sticky pad on their forehead with a big letter L on it. Listen, if you break the rules or if you max out, it was sort of a peer pressure thing, you know? They would want people to not make that mistake again. Okay, so they would be punished in that sense, ridiculed essentially for making those mistakes. You don't have to do that to yourself, but I just want you to understand this is what happens in actual, real professional trading environments. Okay, so while how you behave in your environment is up to you, but don't allow yourself to get away with stuff. Don't allow yourself to get away with breaking those rules. Now, the whole purpose of writing down tactics and strategy is to maintain your focus on your goals and to take your emotion out of trading. Think about this for a minute. Suppose you gave your hard-earned money to a money manager because his tactics and strategy fit with your goals. So you give him your money, and now he breaks his own rules and loses your money. Would you fire that money manager? Of course you would. Well, guess what? You are that money manager. You are working for yourself as that money manager. So follow your plan so you won't have to fire yourself. And when it comes to tactics and strategy, we're going to define our trade setups in the following way. You say, all right, my primary reason for entering this trade is, and write down the reason why you're entering the trade. My secondary reason for entering this trade is, and you write down that reason. So maybe you say, okay, we're in a bull market, so I'm going long a stock that has great fundamentals and an ascending triangle setup on the daily chart. Something like that, right? Be specific. Write down what is the overall direction. Write down which strategy you're going to use. We've certainly given you some strategies in this course. Okay? Ask yourself what's happening not only with the overall market, but in that one stock's particular sector. What is happening in that sector? What is the fundamental analysis telling you about that stock? You now know a thing or two about fundamental analysis after taking this course. Use it. What's it telling you about that stock? What is the news about that stock telling you? Now, we have to review our work. This is just like getting a periodic physical examination. You're going to have to regularly review your trading plan. So I want you to go over this monthly and ask yourself the following questions so you can refine your trading and take it to the next level. This is a living document, and you must periodically adjust it so that you can arrive at your destination. So, ask yourself the following. What is my most successful trading strategy, and why? What are my most consistent stocks? What is the market cap? What is the beta of the stocks that I'm trading successfully? What is the average daily volume of the stocks that I'm trading successfully? Am I trading better in the morning or in the afternoon? Which areas need improvement? We're always in a process of constantly improving. I hope you enjoyed this very much. I know I enjoyed presenting it to you. Thank you very much for listening.